one of the great difficulties, and I do keep coming back to this, is the deepest acceptance. I've just put together a playlist of, I think it's got 10 or 13 or 14 videos that I've done over time, speaking about acceptance. And here I am speaking of it again. Because, you know, in many ways we consider acceptance as a way of condoning or folding or, you know, giving in without any hope. As a sort of almost a secret feeling or sense that if we accept that things are the way they are, I am the way I am, this is happening to me, I am feeling like this, the world is the way that it is, that somehow if we allow ourselves to fall into a deeper acceptance of that, that somehow in many ways it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. We're going to get worse through our acceptance. And so we easily stay on the precipice or on the outside or on the, you know, teetering on the edge of what feels like a hole within ourselves, where acceptance is not is just not available. Because with acceptance comes a whole cascade of emotions, usually of feelings, of thoughts, of feelings, of, you know, it's not, you know, regret and sorrow and anger and grief, you know, follow not far behind acceptance. And maybe we know that somewhere within ourselves that, you know, it is opening the door, acceptance is opening the door to ourselves, to the whole flood, to the flood of things. You know, but the truth of the matter is that acceptance is not a one-shot deal. It's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing relationship. It's a courting. It's a love affair. If we think of it more as an ongoing, deepening love affair, or intimacy, or relationship, then it sort of maybe starts to melt a little bit of our resistance or our fear. Because then we can get to know ourselves a little bit better, you know, and see where we can accept and what we can accept and where we can't and why. Because it's, you know, if one can accept certain things, that's okay, but it's in the I can't accept this, I can't accept that we're holding on to this, you know, to the self that wants to survive so much. I'm not really talking about so much of the injustices of the world in this conversation. I'm talking really about the inner world, what goes on in our inner world. How we are, how we feel about ourselves in the world, in relationship to ourselves and to the world. That's where, the invitation to fall into a deeper acceptance, as though it's an ongoing love affair, for want of a better term, and where the resistance is. Because there's usually a resistance, as I said at the beginning, because of a sort of secret idea or a perennial idea or an unexamined idea that if I accept it, all hell is going to break loose, or I'm not going to be able to cope, or the flood is going to come and everything that I've avoided in my life is going to arise. But we're more intelligent than that. And it doesn't do that. It doesn't arise in one fell swoop. Of course there'll be waves. There are waves, there are always waves that arise. Everything is waving all of the time. High waves, waves of intensity, waves of cessation. The waves rise, the waves fall. But to carry on resisting, particularly the parts that hurt, or the parts that are fearful, or the parts that are really tight, erodes something of us, it grinds something down in us. And so here is the opportunity, or the door, is that in actual fact what happens through a deeper willingness to open in acceptance is that things start to change on the level of, I don't like to use the word soul, but on the deepest level of us, things start to change. Slowly, slowly. We stop being so disconnected from our experience and start becoming more connected to our experience. Yes, there will be a feeling of pain. Yes, there will be, strong emotions. Yes, there will be feelings that come up. But as I've said in a million videos, they're there anyway. They're just under the surface. So all one is saying by entertaining a deeper acceptance is, yes, I see you. Yes, I know you're there. Yes, actually, I welcome you to the extent that I can. And that's why it's an ongoing journey, because you meet your edge. You meet your edge, which is never fixed. You meet the edge of what you can accept within yourself. Let's talk, just talking about oneself. To accept what's rising up, what you're feeling, and then to reach a point where you say, I've got to turn away. I've got to turn away. Well, that's okay as well. Turning away is okay when it's done with awareness. When there's an awareness of that's a threshold and I have to turn away. Because then at some point you're going to return. And when you return, there'll be more awareness than there was before. Because you're not just caught in the I'm turning away and that's that, I can't face it ever again. That's what I mean. When you're involved in an intimate relationship, when it gets difficult or when it gets tough or when it, has a heat in it or something, you don't just say, that's it, I can't face that, I'm turning away, and I leave and walk out of the door. The commitment generally in love, in a love affair that has depth to it, is that you say, I can't face that at the moment. And then by and by you return to your lover. Say, I'm sorry, there's more awareness now. Not you're right and I'm wrong. I don't mean that. We've gone beyond that. This channel is not about that. This channel is about a much deeper meeting than that. And so this path of an ever deepening acceptance has a grace in it. It has a healing quality in it. It has a healing quality in it. Yes, we have to meet our fears. Yes, we do have to meet deep fears of the whole plethora of the human experience. Grief, fear, regret, sorrow, anger, fear of impermanence. What we've done, what we haven't done, where we've messed up, where it's gone wrong. And it has, of course. Any human being has screwed up. Every human being has made a mess somewhere in their lives. We set the benchmark very, very high, and on a certain level that's very good. But not when it becomes, something that we just punish ourselves with. Acceptance is the end of that kind of punishment. You don't have to punish yourself to get through the remainder of life. There's no point in self-punishment. The only one singular purpose that self-punishment serves is in a way to kind of bring us to integrity. The integrity that says, I did something, that is regretful. I did something that I feel is wrong now, and I'm making sure within my life that I don't do that again. And there's an integrity in that. So it serves that purpose. Apart from that, it doesn't serve any purpose apart from negatively punishing ourselves for what's happened or what hasn't happened. So there's no real, healing in that anyway. It might be purpose on some level, but there's no real healing in that. And what I'm talking about is healing through a deeper acceptance. So here we are again, the invitation to fall into this deeper love affair of acceptance. It doesn't diminish you. It makes you whole. It makes you deeper. It brings you to a deeper love with yourself, a deeper love with the world. There are so many different qualities that it allows to start flowing again that weren't available. This is the great softening that I talk of, the great softening into being. It allows love, it allows self-love, it allows relaxation, it allows forgiveness, it allows a tenderness to flow. None of these are weak qualities. They're just diminished because of the aggrandized ego. But the aggrandized ego can't go to these places because it has to soften. So it defends itself against them and diminishes them. But this is absurd because these are our true, noble, warrior-like, heroic, beautiful qualities that make us genuine human beings, not facsimiles of ourselves, which for most people, we've all tried that. We've all tried to be something, tried to be someone, tried to wear the mask, tried to be this and that. And it doesn't work ultimately. It certainly doesn't work anymore. Maybe it worked once, but it doesn't work anymore. And so this invitation to acceptance is an invitation to fall beyond that. Okay, bless you.